like bandages on wounds that still need healing. That's how Alveda King describes some of the solutions to the deep, divisive issues that are crippling our country today. So what is the answer? Take a look.
Alveda King, niece of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., believes in pairing social justice with righteousness when confronting the issues plaguing our nation. At a time when the country is divided over race relations, abortion, religious freedom, and political correctness, Alveda joins other prominent voices to address these hot-button issues. In her book, Black and Brown Americans in Search of the American Dream, over 30 leaders contribute by not only raising important questions, but also bringing strategic solutions for healing and restoration in our country.
Welcome back to the 700 Club, our good friend Alveda King. It's so wonderful to have you back.
Hello, Terry. It's so good to join you.
We get to cook together on certain occasions, but today you have new books out, a pictorial history, as well as the book that was just mentioned. Talk a little bit about the current issues that divide our country today. What's your take on all of this?
I was listening to Pat a little earlier, some of the things that are concerning folks, and I do want to mention Chick-fil-A and their decision not to, of course, continue to donate to certain companies, but that doesn't mean that they're not still engaged, that they don't still care about America. They definitely do. So sometimes people will choose different paths, but the best path we can choose is agape love, Christian love, and to extend love in the midst of the heat. People were upset about the Kurds, for example, and decisions that the president made, and he had to move in a certain direction to do that. But if we can just stop criticizing each other, arguing with each other, and you've heard me say every time we talk, it's always around Christmas and Thanksgiving time, don't take the turkey leg off and hit people with it. Hold their hand and pray for them.
Yes.
Pray.
Well, one of the things, in your book, Black and Brown Americans in Search of the American Dream, you share so much of the history of what has happened. It seems to me like one of the issues in our country today is we don't know our own history. How important is that to finding healing, whether it's for us as Americans, as a country, or for the Black and Brown community?
And I named it Black and Brown Community and had about 28 of my friends. A couple of us did 2 articles. So there are 30 articles together from every ethnic group, every age group, every socioeconomic group, but talking about issues that impact the African American community. But we didn't want to leave out any community because we are one blood.
Yeah.
We are one human race. And we have to address each other as brothers and sisters. And we've not been able to do that in America completely. The message will come. My uncle Martin Luther King Jr. delivered it well during his lifetime. But you have to tell the same truth in every generation.
Who are some of the leaders that contributed to this book? Because you have, as you mentioned, so many.
Yes. Well, and it's a diverse group. Our friend Bishop Harry Jackson, for example, a very strong leader in the Christian community, a pastor and a minister. Nina May, who is a filmmaker, and she deals with the issue, though, of restitution and restoration and whether we should have reparations. And Nina says, well, the people who did the harm need to pay the reparations, not America's taxpayers. That's just an example, but each one, Reverend Bill Owens, for example, Ryan Baumberger, who is an advocate for life and adoption. So it's just a diverse group of people.
Yeah. You just mentioned reparations. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, that's an issue that I think some people can't relate to, some people feel strongly about. It's another divisive thing today.
With reparations, it's not going to be done only with money. Of course, some monies and some funds could be used, but it needs to be creative. I remember President Obama and President Trump both said that they did not see the taxpayers paying for it. They had different reasons for saying that. However, the people who really need to pay the reparations are the ones who are still profiting off of money that was made from slavery, from abortion and all of that. You've got billion-dollar corporations who are still very wealthy today, and they built their wealth on that type of pain, slavery, segregation, and abortion. And so they should be the ones that need to come up with something creative and pay.
You mentioned Ryan Baumberger, and you yourself are such a strong proponent of the pro-life movement. Do you think we're gaining ground at all?
Blessedly, we can see in America that the pro-life message is growing. More Americans believe that it's important to protect the sanctity of life. Now, we had some surprising help from New York and Virginia when 2 governors said it was okay for a baby to be born, and if the intention was to abort, let the baby die. America went into shock. And so many people who wouldn't touch it have now said, no, we need to take another look at that. So we are moving forward.
With your new book, what do you want the takeaway to be for people? You've got an amazing pictorial history that goes with it as well, but talk about the book itself.
The book, if we can inform and educate and activate communities to not argue about the elephant in the room, which is skin color. Acts 17:26, of one blood, God made us all. We're brothers and sisters. So we can educate and inform ourselves if we read that book and look at the various perspectives on the subject. And of course, the pictorial history of the pro-life movement, 15 years of pictures. And so these are things that maybe can just help to inform us if we take a look.
You have to take the look before you can understand all that's gone on. Thank you so much. You leave a legacy of great work. You're always, and a legacy of family and a legacy of life. And it's great work that we see you doing.
And we're celebrating Christmas, Gigi to Gigi.
That Gigi to Gigi will be in the kitchen.
Green and our burgundy and cranberry, and our necklaces are similar.
Right.
We always get the same memo.
That's right. Share recipes here.
Yeah.
Well, the book is called Black and Brown Americans in Search of the American Dream. And Alveda King also has another book. She just mentioned it. It's a pictorial history of the national Black pro-life movement, and both books are available nationwide, and a wonderful place to begin to understand and to look back and have it matter for the decisions and the choices we make today.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's always great to have you here.